It's lunchtime, and this is Brad Anderson's Lunch Break. Two of my favorite things about Microsoft are the smart people that constantly visit campus and the great fleet of shuttles. Whenever I can, I try to take advantage of both of these things and grab lunch with some of the tech industry's best and brightest. Today I'll finish talking with John Houston, the Chief Information Security Officer at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Yeah, I've been super impressed with how, you have driven the culture at UPMC. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be listening to this who, can see that there are challenges and issues in the organization, and they need to go push a culture that is a lot more aware of and pushing security. What advice would you give?
Well, first of all, I think when it comes to security, you can't let security get in the way of the business. You look at allowing security solutions to help enable the business, or at least making sure that your decisions around security don't get in the way of the business, in the case of UPMC delivering healthcare. So, if we can find a security technology that maybe makes access easier, then it's a win for both of us. But if I come up with a security technology that
cumbersome, gets in the way.
By example, let's just take, if it takes a physician 5 extra seconds to log into his or her computer because of a security technology I layered on top of it, that's going to be unacceptable, because that physician may log into that computer 20, 30, 50 times a day. Add up that time.
Yeah.
And I think it does become disruptive to them doing their job.
Oh, yeah.
And it's easy for a layperson to say, oh, but that's not a lot of time.
To the physician
who is already doing long hours and is trying to be as efficient as possible, it's past being an inconvenience. It becomes a major inhibitor of them doing their job.
Let's play a game called This or That.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 2 subjects.
Go for it.
And then I'm going to read you a list of descriptions, and you can tell me which of the 2 subjects the description applies to. Okay, network intrusion or a box of donuts. Those are the 2 choices you have.
Okay.
Once it gets past the company perimeter, it spreads in all directions.
Network intrusion.
I've seen donuts with the engineering team, just to kind of be All right, contains a payload that's very harmful to your employees.
Donuts, or both.
Both, that's a both. Experts can identify the people who made it just by looking at it closely.
Geez. Probably in some ways neither.
Neither or both.
Or neither or both.
That's right.
We used to work for a company that did a lot of defense work, and they had the mil-spec catalog for all the different military specifications, and one of them was donuts.
Do they really?
So if you're going to buy donuts for the military, there is a specification for donuts. I've seen the specification.
They're often introduced by a well-meaning employee.
Both.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed. There's a lot more headed your direction.
Not a lot of donuts left in my direction. I cut that out before I turned 50.
Tell me a little bit about the decision-making behind going from on-prem into the cloud with email, files, collaboration, etc.
From my perspective, and maybe I don't speak for IT leadership, but I look at things like email as being almost a commodity. Is it really part of our core business? We want to make sure that it's available. We want to make sure that we have an effective environment, but we have a lot of other things that we need to worry about. And if we can provide that service in an effective, cost-efficient manner, I don't necessarily think we should be in that business.
It really is focused on what your core is, and if there's a way to get the service that you don't have to spend your precious resources on that. And then I would add to that, as you move to these cloud services like Office 365, you're on the latest technology. You have the latest innovations.
You don't have to worry about
the latest security. Exactly, and that's one of the things I think really the world has really come to understand and say the last year.
Today, maybe 25, 30% of our data is in some way, shape, or form in the cloud.
And the destination you think you'll get to is?
100%. Wow. Without a doubt. And more of that data will be primary copies of data. But I really do see over the next 2 to 3 to 5 years that all of that data is going to be in the cloud, and much of it's really going to be data that we're going to rely upon very directly to deliver patient care. So there's a lot riding on getting this right. We can't be afraid of it either.
It's been a sincere pleasure to go drive around and talk a little bit.
Yeah, love the car. I don't give it up.
All right, so the next time I'm coming to you, we're going to go drive one of your cars.
Absolutely. Would love to take you out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Next time on Brad Anderson's Lunch Break.
One of the things that I've always seen in my technology coverage over the years has been that even when the technology is fantastic, it can't succeed if the organizational culture is wrong. The lesson there is that you have to be willing to change your culture as well as your computing to make best use of technology.